Hi, everyone. We've been recently sharing with you about all of the Holy Week services that we are about to celebrate at Cornerstone in just a few short weeks. And today, I'm excited to share more with you about our Great Vigil of Easter. It's a glorious, glorious service. And it's a very old service. It's actually the oldest known service of all the Holy Week services in the ancient church. And in the ancient church, Easter Sunday actually didn't have its own distinct liturgy from the Easter Vigil service because the vigil would simply continue through the night and end with Holy Communion on Easter Sunday. And that meant for the Easter Vigil, this became the central holy moment for new Christians to become baptized, declare their faith, and become full members of the family of God in celebration of Jesus' resurrection. Now, here at Cornerstone, we are not going to be celebrating the service all night long, but it is a longer service for us, and it consists of 4 parts. So the first part is the service of light. And in the service of light, a new fire is kindled, and from it the paschal candle is lit, symbolizing Christ, the light of the world. And then the exalted, an ancient song of praise, is sung as the climax of this part of the liturgy. From that part of the liturgy, we move into the service of lessons. And in the service of lessons, key passages from Scripture recount the history of God's mighty acts and promises. And for us here at Cornerstone, we take these readings and we add creative elements to them to help us connect more deeply with the great themes of God's saving work that we find throughout these Scriptures. And then along with each Scripture, there are prayers and songs of praise that we offer during that time together. Following the service of lessons, we move to the service of baptism, where any who have been prepared to be received in baptism and receive the sacrament of baptism will do so during that time, as well as anybody who may have come wanting to renew their baptismal vows, recommitting their life to Christ, or any who would wish to be received as members formally of our particular local expression of the church here at Cornerstone. All that happens during the service of baptism. And then finally, we celebrate Holy Communion to end our service, which is the only fitting way. Remembering Jesus, celebrating him at his table, the only fitting way for us to conclude the service together that night. It is a special, glorious service, and it's very moving to walk through the rhythms of the liturgy throughout that night together as we more and more and more enter into the reality of Christ's resurrection throughout the time together. It's also a wonderful service to invite friends, family, loved ones to. And in particular, in my time at Cornerstone, I've found that oftentimes those who are connected to other churches in our lives, but may have never experienced an Easter Vigil service, are particularly moved and blessed by this service. And so there may be someone in your life, some people in your life that you would want to invite to come to this service, because for them it will open up a new way of celebrating the resurrection of Jesus, especially if they've never taken part in an Easter Vigil service like this before. But certainly all are welcome to join us for this service, whether they're churched or not churched, whether they are Christians, identify themselves as Christians now, or don't. All are welcome. We would love for them to celebrate with us and worship the living Jesus on our Easter Vigil service.